Alright, good evening everybody. This is Winter from r/CFBBall, and today I'm going to show you guys how to combine two or more panels into one file on GIMP, the program that most of us have become familiar with. So how this works is I have two panels here of Dial and Bassett having a great fine day at the beach, and I, like many people else on the subreddit, like to draw my panels one panel at a time. It just works easier for me, as I imagine it does at other people. But the problem comes when you have to combine these two panels into one in order for it to be displayed correctly on Reddit. So what I'm going to do today is show you how exactly to do that. So what you're first going to need to do is figure out the size of your panels. Now typically your panels are going to be all the same size. If that isn't the case, we'll get to that later. But usually by default your panels are going to be all the same size. So here I have these panels at 400 pixels by 800 pixels. And so what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to do a little math. Yes, I know we're all artists and not mathematicians, but you have to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to figure out how big each of your panels are. And there's two ways to do this. One, you can just go down to the bottom right hand corner of your panel, and it should give you, usually there's a little display down here. I'm not sure why it's not displaying at the moment. Oh, hey, wait. Well, you see the coordinates down here. That usually, I think my computer's just running a little slow right now. That'll usually tell you how how big your drawing is. See, there you go. It's updating now. So if you go down to the very bottom corner, you'll see it says about 800, 400, which is about this, roughly the size of the drawing. Now if you want a bit more exact, you can go up to Image and go to Canvas Size, and it'll display for you right here, width 800, height 400. Alright, so, there we go. Alright, so, now what do you do? So, if I want to stack these two on top of each other, I'm going to have to make it 800 by 800, so we can have the 400 here, 400 for the next panel, and then the 800 wide. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Go to File and New, and we're going to create a file that is 800 by 800. Okay, just had to hit enter, that's fine. Anyway, so what you're going to do now, actually I forgot a step, let's go back a step. So first thing you need to do for each of your panels, you need to go to File and export them as something. So here I'm going to export it as the same file name as I have the GIMP file as. So it's going to be Dial and Bassett Beach Day 1 being the first panel. Press export. It'll bring up another window here just in a second. You click on export there as well. So there's one. So you go over here, File, Export As, do the exact same thing for the second panel, except you name it 2 instead of 1. Click on Export again. Click on Export again. Alright, so those are both exported to my documents now, where I can go to File, and you're going to press Open as Layers, not Open, Open as Layers, and you'll go to your documents or wherever you saved it to, and you will see them both sitting there waiting for you. Yes, and you're going to want to make sure you click on the PNG files or the JPEG files or whatever you save it as, not the XCF files, because that's going to give you each of the individual layers within those panels. You're just going to want the PNG files because that just gives you the straight up picture. So what you want to do is I'll press open for the first panel. You're going to click on the little move tool over here, and you are going to move it up top. Then you go File, Open as Layers once again. Open that second one. There we go. And you're going to move it down, and there you go. both files or both pictures or both frames are now in one file, and if you were to go File and export it, you would get a picture that would include both of these frames in one file, which you could easily upload to Reddit, and it'll display all of it into one file. So I'll go over a couple of mistakes or problems you can run into while doing this. So first things first is what happens if two of your frames are not quite the same size, which can easily happen. I work on many different images of all different sizes, so I can forget to change my settings beforehand. This can be a very simple fix. So this is what it would probably look like if you ran into this problem. This image up top, the first frame, is going to be the 400 by 800 that I wanted this comic frame to be. This bottom one, I made the mistake of making it 1200 by 600. So if you run into that problem, you can go over here to this tool right over here, the scale tool. Click on that. You make sure you're on the layer that includes the frame that is too big. You click on it, and you might need to zoom out just a tad bit. And when you do this, if you're just doing the frame, you want to make sure this keep aspect is on, because that'll keep it from stretching. It'll keep it the same ratio, so you don't have a weird looking frame all of a sudden. So you can either drag it, or you can go up here, and here I can just type in my 800. And if you have that keep aspect ratio on, it'll automatically change the height. Press scale, and there you go. If you're a little bit off, you can just go over to that move tool, or you can even use the scale tool and you can move it around. Either work, but there you go. Both of them are now the correct size. Now the other problem you can run into is, say you didn't do your math correctly when you were trying to figure out how big you needed the final comic to be. So here, I accidentally made a frame that was 800 wide, which was correct, but I only made it 700 tall. So what you're going to want to do here is, you go up to Image, and you click on that canvas size button we had earlier. So you can see here it has the canvas size right here, and you can just go ahead and backspace that and turn it into 800, and you can see where it's going to add more space. So, and you can even, once you lock that in, you can even move this up and down to where you want more space to be added. So like say you needed more room at the top, you can just drag the drawing down, and it'll give you more room at the top. But we need room at the bottom, so we're going to push it up, and we're going to have the room appear at the bottom. And so what you're going to do now is you'll press resize, and boom, you are all good to go. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or just call me out one of the chats. I hope this shows you exactly how to put all your panels into one comic, so you don't have to draw them all into one file from the beginning or use something like Imgur. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.